On this episode of Paw Prints, we'll be visiting Freshfields Animal Rescue to get some tips on caring for wildlife over the winter months. But first, Woodlands Animal Sanctuary is an amazing charity that takes in all types of animals in need. And Liz Gould has offered to give us a guided tour of the sanctuary.
Well, we're an animal rescue. We're 10 years old. We started life as a Cats Protection League shelter, and then 10 years ago the founder trustees of Woodlands decided they wanted to help other animals besides cats, and obviously they couldn't do that under the Cats Protection League umbrella, so a separate charity was set up, Woodlands Animal Sanctuary, and we started taking in other animals, including abandoned or neglected farm animals and other domestic animals, as well as cats. So this shelter is still at the heart of what we do at Woodlands. It's our cattery. We have our feral unit in there for the feral cats that we can't rehome because they're not suitable for a domestic environment. And around the rest of the shelter here we have the cats looking for homes. And this is really the heart of what is Woodlands. But because we're an independent charity, we're completely self-funding. All our money has to be raised by ourselves or is donated to us. So it's a constant struggle to keep the place going, but we make it, we keep going, and we make it for the sake of these guys here as much as anything else. So this is our cattery. Through here we have our residence lodge, and this is where our residents animals live. This is their des res where they come home to sleep at night or in the day as the case may be. We've got a couple in there now having a bit of a siesta. These are the cats that are not available for rehoming for various reasons. Could be they're just too old, could be they've got a medical problem, but they live their lives out with us. So that's our residence lodge. And then through here we have in this area here is our maternity unit where our pregnant cats and their kittens are. We've got a 4-bay maternity unit here, and it's full at the moment. It's absolutely full. There's some beautiful kittens, including from 2 days old to nearly ready to go for rehoming. Again, it's a specialist unit that we have here. So, that's where all the work goes on, where all the cat blankets and everything are washed and the food's prepared and so on. And this is our treatment room, and this is where we treat the animals that need some sort of veterinary help or need special TLC. This is Willow, one of our new residents who's been very poorly and is still receiving treatment and investigation of her condition through the vets. Okay, then take you outside. This is the paddock where our horses and ponies graze. We've got 2 of the Dartmoor ponies out there at the moment, and Merlin, our miniature Shetland, and Willow, who lives here as well, although she's not actually a sanctuary resident. We could take more horses if we had the space. Again, horses, there's a lot of neglect goes on with horses. The Dartmoor ponies we took because they were surplus to requirements on Dartmoor, and every year they are looking for getting rid of many foals, many hundreds of foals from Dartmoor. A lot of them don't end up in a nice home like this. They end up being shipped off abroad and end up as horse meat and this sort of thing. These guys were lucky to come here. We could take many, many more, but we just haven't got the facilities to do so. This is our stable block, which was built last year. Which again was built thanks to the generosity of one of our supporters who paid for the new stables. Our old stables were pretty decrepit, and we used to worry that they would not make another winter. And this gentleman very kindly donated the money to us to rebuild the stables. And we're very, very pleased with these stables, very proud of them. They provide a really good accommodation for not just our horses and ponies and donkeys, but also for the goats as well, and the sheep. So it's a really lovely environment for them. This is Dolly and Beanie, our two rescued donkeys. Show very great interest in the camera. They came to us just before Christmas last year when the little one was about 3 months old. She's now getting on for full grown and nearly as big as Mum. She's a curious little soul, this one. She's a very sweet little girl, but Mum is definitely the calmer and better trained of the two at the moment. We are working with them to socialise her and make her a little bit more friendly to people. They have been out with us on a little bit of outreach work, and we're looking to do some more of that later to highlight the work that Woodlands does.
When a dog is found stray or abandoned, more often than not it will end up at a pound similar to those at Birkenhead Kennels.
Yeah, it's been run by the council for many, many years. The council were actually looking to close the facility, so we got a petition up about 5 years ago. And that was where it all started. We used to come down here handing out leaflets about the charity, which was very small at the time, seeing if we could help the council in any way with the kennels, with the dogs. I think it was about 2 years after we first started, we managed to get a dog walking scheme up and running with the volunteers. So that's how we started getting involved with the kennels on a day-to-day basis. And then it's just blossomed from there, really. Now become a registered charity, been going for about 5 years. At the moment there's about 24 in. Majority of them are strays. We have a couple of handovers, which is obviously if the owners can't look after the dogs anymore, they hand them in to us, sign them over. But yeah, the majority of them are strays. Thankfully, a lot of them get reclaimed, which is good. You know, a member of the public might find a dog. If there's no tag or collar on the dog, obviously they don't know who the owner is. Some people, they knock door to door on the road that they found the dog, see if they can contact an owner. Otherwise, they bring the dog into us, which is where we scan the dog for the microchip. Hopefully, if the microchip details are up to date, we can contact the owner, but if they're not, then obviously the dog sits with us until the owner comes forward. So legally, we have to keep hold of the dog for 7 days before we can move the dog anywhere, and that's to give the owner a chance to reclaim. If the dog doesn't get reclaimed within the 7 days, then on the 8th day, the dog goes up for rehoming. It's not like some pounds where they put the dogs to sleep on day 8. We're lucky in the fact that we do have quite a good rehoming rate and a good reclaim rate, so we're not really stuck for kennel space at the moment. Oh, the support we have is brilliant. Members of the public, you know, volunteers even, everyone is so supportive of us. It's quite overwhelming, to be honest, all the donations that we get, you know, and not just the cash donations, it's the dog food and the treats and the blankets and the towels, because that all helps, you know, towards the care of the dogs. Yeah, well, we have our open day tomorrow, which is also to celebrate our first anniversary of running the kennels, and that's from 11:30 till 3:30. We have Santa coming visiting us between 12 and 2. Making himself at home. Distracting. Yeah, so we've got quite a lot going on. We've got a couple of stalls selling Christmas items, gifts, tombola. We've got a food stall as well, so it'll be the hot dogs, mince pies, hot drinks, that sort of thing. And hopefully we'll have a lot of visitors down here, which in turn will help rehome some of the dogs. On the days that we're closed, generally through the week, which is the Sunday and Monday, there's always staff here. It's like skeleton staff to see to the dogs' needs. You know, so it's cleaning out and feeding and medications, things like that. And we're exactly the same over Christmas, so Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day. Even though we're actually closed to the public, there are staff in here still dealing with the day-to-day care of the dogs.
It's really important this time of year to feed birds. because obviously as the weather gets colder, food is scarcer. And supplementing the feed with good quality food, unsalted peanuts, grind them up because younger birds can choke on them. A good mixture of bird seeds, suet balls, but remove netting because often birds get their beaks stuck on that. And if it's icy, always leave fresh water out and break the surfaces of ponds. And a good trick if it's going to freeze is to put a football in a pond, stops it from freezing, just remove the football, and then obviously your frogs and toads and other pond creatures aren't going to freeze. Another animal you need to give a lot of attention to these days, given they're in a decline, is hedgehogs. At this time of the year, a hedgehog does need to be 800 grams to hibernate. So I'll show you a big hedgehog. Now most of them are hibernating at this time. But people don't tend to realise that big hedgehogs, when the weather's mild, they will come out and feed for a few days, so they don't hibernate solidly for months. So a hedgehog of that size, that's quite healthy. So you don't really need to worry if you see that out and about in winter. If you see it out in the daylight, it's got a problem, it's likely to have an infection or it's in decline somehow because obviously they're nocturnal. So a hedgehog that size, totally acceptable. If you see it, leave it be. And then if you were to compare that to a juvenile, now unfortunately the autumn litters, very few will make it because they cannot reach 800 grams to hibernate. And a hedgehog of this size, which is about 300, simply will not reach the weight to hibernate and will, without any doubt at all, die. So if you see a hedgehog like this out in the day or in the dark, that size hedgehog does need to be taken to a rescue because it will not make it, it will not survive. And the other thing about hedgehogs is there's only 1 million now. 10 years ago, they reckon we had up to 30 million of them. So we all need to do our bit for our little native hedgehog here because they reckon in 10 years they'll be extinct. So if you'd like to leave food out for your hedgehogs as well, they eat cat and dog food, no fish flavours because obviously a hedgehog never comes across a fish, so it won't eat a fish. Are you wriggling? Here you are, you're cheeky. So this little guy would be quite happy, well not this one obviously, it needs to go to a rescue, but a good sized hedgehog, if you'd like to supplement feeding for them, basically just leave cat and dog food out, no fish flavours, cat and dog dried biscuits, raisins, things like that, dried mealworm, and water as well, because often when it's snow or icy out there, most wildlife struggles for a drink. So obviously at Freshfields here, we have a farm and we've got sheep and pigs, we've got geese, turkeys, ducks, chickens, and a lot of people obviously see these animals as food, but here we love them, we work with them all the time and we see the individuality and the beauty of each and every one of them. So one of the things we'd love people to think about this year is maybe how about a veggie meat-free Christmas, do vegan, just for once, give it a try. There's so many products out there now that you can eat just as well, and it's also, by the way, a lot healthier. You want to watch those hips, give it a veggie Christmas, vegan Christmas. Look at that turkey, who'd want to eat it? We love it, we can't understand anybody eating it, but that's us. So yeah, just this once, maybe think about a meat-free Christmas. The animals will certainly thank you for that. Christmas at Freshfields basically is just another day because all the animals need to be mucked out, fed, watered, walked. So obviously we've got staff in each unit, which is the same as every other day. they do have a little bit of a gathering and a few nibbles and snacks, and so there's a bit of a party atmosphere going on there. And it's quite lovely here at Christmas, because the quieter it gets, you just get these beautiful people coming in with gifts, especially around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Often older people, you know, they'll brave the weather, the snow and everything, the rain, and they come in with toys and gifts and, you know, for the animals. So you do get an awful lot more kindness at Christmas, but unfortunately you do get an awful lot more suffering. You see a lot more suffering, you see a lot more abused animals. And I suppose that's the way of the world, isn't it? It's a mixture of good and bad. And Christmas seems to bring out both in both types of people. So the good are kinder and the mean types are even worse and abandon their animals. So finally, would just like to say from everybody here to all of you out there, have a fantastic Christmas, a wonderful New Year, and you know we all are here if you want to come up and meet us or donate or volunteer. But all the best to all of you from all of us.
Getting a new puppy can be a difficult time for pup and owner, as they both adapt to a new situation. Dog trainer Justine has some great tips on settling a new puppy into its new home, starting on day one.
Hello, I'm Justine Schoen for VIP Dog Training Liverpool, and this is Charlie, my dog. And today I'm just going to talk a little bit about crate training your new puppy in the home. Lots of people ask me questions on crate training and have different ideas and views on it. I personally think that they're a really good training tool to have in the home if used correctly and not abused. Also, it's going to be a really safe place for your puppy to be when they can't be supervised if you need to go shopping. So they can't get into any trouble where they're chewing wires and eating anything they shouldn't be in the home. So other good points for the crate is that you can use the crate for travel in the car, bonfire night, and also there could be that time that I take Charlie to the vets and the vet turns around and says that Charlie needs to have cage rest for a week or two. So Charlie's already been conditioned to the crate and sees this as a really positive place, so he's not going to get stressed in that situation. Now, what we don't want to use the crate for is punishment. The crate should never be used for punishment. The crate is supposed to be a really nice, safe environment for your dog that feels happy. Also, if you have to go to work for long hours, the dog should never be left in the crate for hours and hours. This just isn't fair on the dog. You're not using the crate correctly. If you have to leave your dog in the crate, make sure that you look into either dog walkers or looking at daycare centre for your dog. Otherwise, if you do leave your dog in the crate for long periods of time, this can only cause behavioural problems in the future and also anxiety in your dog. So here we are. This is how I set Charlie's crate up from day one when I brought him home as a puppy. Just remember that when you are bringing a new puppy home into an environment, this is going to be a stressful time for your puppy. They are leaving the mother, the siblings, so the idea is to make this place as comfortable and a positive place for your pup to be. I picked Charlie up early on in the morning so that he had the day to spend with me and get used to his new environment. Now, as you can see, how I've set my crate up, because this is how I personally like to do it, this is a puppy pen that goes all the way around the crate. This is a safety zone. It's just a really nice way of getting your dog used to the crate and just building up his confidence, really. So when you're choosing your crate for your puppy, just make sure you're getting the right size. It's really important. So a dog should be able to stand up, turn around, stretch out nicely, be able to relax in the crate. What you don't want is to get the wrong size where the crate's too big and the puppy will start to potty train at the end of the crate. So just make sure that you do get that perfect size crate. And obviously, as your dog grows, you're going to get a bigger crate. Okay, now, as you can see here, I've covered the crate with just a towel. And that's because dogs do like the environment of it being a den. So we're not going to actually force our puppy to go in the crate and close the door. So what I tend to do is use special treats, and here I've got a Kong and it's filled with nice goodies, and then I just can pop these in the crates so that it has lots of nice choices of treats, etc. And also you can feed your dog in the crate as well. So that he just
and considering
really,
he doesn't have the crate really, if I'm honest, at home now anymore.
Okay, so it's a good idea that you do have some mental enrichment toys in your crate for your dog to keep them occupied if you need to build their confidence up that you are going to leave them in the crate, if you need to leave the room, etc. So here I have a play ball, and again it's got Charlie's treats inside, and then he can.
So just put about, don't leave the puppies for hours and hours in the crate
so
again, or
that's
because I've already said that.
On crate training your new puppy in the home. Just remember that, again, please do not leave your puppy in the crate for hours and hours. It's best that if you have got to go out, like I say, is to have this set up with the playpen around. And just make it a really nice, safe place, environment for your puppy to be.
Sensitive and loyal by nature, lurchers usually enjoy a strong relationship with their owner. Dogs Trust Merseyside currently has around 5 lurchers staying at their kennels, all of which are looking for loving new homes.
Okay, well, we're here with Dancer, who loves the mud and loves running around. She's 7 years old and she needs an adult-only home where someone's going to be around to give her the love and affection that she desperately needs. She hates being on her own. So she'll make a great companion for someone who enjoys going for muddy walks and having lots and lots of cuddles. She'll do anything for a high quality treat. She loves her biscuits and cheese and chopped up ham. That's what we do with all our dogs, is reward-based training, and Dancer responds really, really well. And we're hoping she might get home before Christmas because of her festive name as well. Please call the centre. The number is 0151 480 0660, or you can have a look on our webpage, and the centre is open every day except Wednesday, 12 till 4. Come along, and we've got 84 dogs here at the moment, so if Dancer's not the one for you, there'll be another dog who is.